A man who was 72 years old passed away after consuming this before going to bed. Steer clear of these 5 potentially harmful foods on your diet. It may come as a surprise to you, but a single simple decision you make before going to bed might put your heart and brain in danger. There are a lot of people who are unaware of how much the body tries to keep its equilibrium while we sleep. And the food that we consume shortly before going to bed can either help or injure the body. It is not the purpose of this film to terrify you with unbelievable tales. With this, you will have a better understanding of what actually takes place within your body while you are sleeping. Particularly after the age of 60. Your digestion will slow down, your blood pressure will fluctuate more quickly, and your ability to recuperate over the night will become more fragile. These are the truths. It is possible that something that appeared to be harmless when you were in your 40s could now be harmful if you consume it at the wrong moment. The title of this video is a reference to a real-life incident, which included a guy who was 72 years old and had passed away as a result of unwittingly doing one of the errors that we are going to talk about. Making a specific dish the culprit is not the point. It's about being aware of your body and honoring the requirements it has during the night. In the video that I'm going to show you today, I'm going to cover 5 specific items that you should never consume immediately before going to bed. Furthermore, I will elaborate on the reason behind this. It's possible that the explanations will take you by surprise, and it's also possible that you'll recognize some of these items from your own evening routine. I want you to stay with me until the very end because this is not simply about avoiding certain things. During the years that are most important to you, it is important to protect your body. It's possible that this film will be one of the most significant videos you watch this year if you're between the ages of 60 and 85. Let's get started. Meals that are strong on red meat come in first. What could be more reassuring than a steak meal, especially on chilly evenings when the body yearns for warmth and a sense of fullness? However, the problem arises when the same meal continues to remain in your stomach for a considerable amount of time after you have placed your head down. It takes a large amount of energy and time for the body to break down red meat since it is high in saturated fat and protein. Additionally, red meat is difficult to digest. This can become a significant burden overnight for someone who is in their 70s or 80s, during which time their digestion naturally slows down as they get older. Even though you are making an effort to relax, your stomach is still functioning around the clock. This makes it more difficult for you to enter deep sleep stages. And more critically, it increases the likelihood that you may experience acid reflux, spikes in blood pressure, irregular heartbeats, and spikes in overnight blood pressure. According to the findings of one study, older persons who had a large amount of animal protein in the hours leading up to bedtime experienced much more sleep disruptions and higher heart rates during the night. When you consume steak is more important than whether or not you completely abstain from eating it. Robert, a man who was 72 years old and had no previous history of cardiac problems, went to bed after a late barbecue dinner. He had no history of heart problems. During the time that he was resting, his heart went into a state of stress in an attempt to deal with the high fat load. And unfortunately, he experienced a quiet arrhythmia while he was sleeping. The next morning, his wife discovered him motionless in the bedroom. After further investigation, it was found that he had underlying sleep apnea, which, when paired with the meal, proved to be fatal. Despite the fact that such a tragedy is uncommon, the hazards are very real. It is for this reason that specialists recommend allowing the body to digest for a minimum of 3 to 4 hours. A hearty meal consisting of meat before going to bed, if you are looking for a source of protein late at night. Other options include eggs, a little amount of yogurt, or even a warm lentil soup. Rather than interrupting the body's natural transition toward restoration with digestive demands that it is no longer able to handle as it did decades ago. The goal is to provide support for this transition. The good news is that many people find that decreasing the amount of food they consume in the evening results in a significant improvement in the quality of their sleep. And they tend to wake up feeling more energized. By taking things one night at a time, You are not giving up pleasure, rather, you are providing your body with a greater opportunity to heal in the correct manner. Sugary pastries and sweets consumed late at night come in at number 2. After dinner, reaching for a cookie or a slice of pie can be a reassuring experience for some people, even though it may seem like a little reward at the end of a long day. Those late-night sweets can quietly wreak havoc on your body as you sleep. This is especially true for seniors who are between the ages of 65 and 85. The consumption of sugary desserts prior to going to bed causes a rapid surge in your blood sugar, which is followed by a crash immediately afterward. This collapse might cause abnormal sweating during the night, frequent urination, and unexpected awakenings around 2 or 3 in the morning. This roller coaster may not appear to be dangerous at first, but over time, it will disrupt the hormonal rhythm and sleep architecture of your body. It is more crucial to note that sugar causes inflammation, which in turn has an effect on the nervous system in ways that many people do not anticipate. A woman named Carol, who was 74 years old, was a fan of the chocolate fudge that she consumed every night. She was under the impression that it was not harmful. Nonetheless, over the course of several months, she began experiencing tingling in her legs, vivid nightmares, and severe reductions in her breakfast energy. Her physician was finally able to make the connection. She had fluctuations in her blood sugar throughout the night, which triggered the sympathetic nervous system at a time when her body ought to have been resting. Carol stopped eating sweets before bed, and within a few weeks, she saw an improvement in her symptoms. A significant number of elderly people are unaware of how sensitive the body becomes to sugar as it ages. Because of this, the pancreas no longer responds in the same manner that it used to, and the efficiency of insulin naturally decreases. What this implies is that even a small slice of cake has the potential to completely transform your evening. If you are craving anything after supper, try chamomile tea with cinnamon or a few slices of banana instead of sweets. If you want something earlier in the day, consider eating fruit instead of sweets. These are beneficial to serotonin and assist the body in winding down, rather than winding up. It has nothing to do with deprivation. It is about taking back control of your night. I would appreciate it if you could use the second comment section below to let me know that you are continuing viewing this video and that you are finding these insights to be helpful. I strongly suggest that you subscribe to the channel and activate the bell if you have not already done so. This will ensure that you do not miss any videos. With your assistance, we are able to continue producing high-quality content that will both inform and inspire you. Now, let's proceed with our plans. Finally, aged cheeses and salty preserved meats come in at number 3. A little platter of cheese or a few slices of cured ham are 2 examples of snacks that many people love eating in the evening. It is especially comfortable after a light meal since it seems luxurious, gratifying, and curiously comforting all at the same time. However, for those who are older, these meals have the potential to subtly disrupt your nighttime sleep and, over time, contribute to a far wider range of problems than just a lack of sleep. Tyramine is a naturally occurring chemical that stimulates the production of norepinephrine, a hormone that elevates blood pressure and improves alertness. Aged cheeses and salty meats are filled with tyramine, which is a compound that is found in plenty. It is possible that this may be helpful in the morning, but when it comes to the evening, it is like adding fuel to a fire that is meant to be going out. One individual by the name of Harold 78 cherished his evening routine: a few pieces of salami and a couple of slices of cheddar cheese while it is late at night and you are watching television. In spite of the fact that he believed it improved his ability to relax, he started waking up with a pounding headache and a racing heart. Before a nutritionist informed him about tyramine, he was unable to figure out why it was happening. After he stopped eating certain things after sunset, he experienced a significant reduction in the severity of his nocturnal symptoms, and he was finally able to rest peacefully once more. On top of that, there is another layer, which is sodium. In order to maintain their shelf life, these preserved foods are frequently loaded with salt, Consuming an excessive amount of salt before going to bed might promote fluid retention. As a result, you will experience swelling in your feet, rings that are more tightly wrapped around your fingers, and an increased number of trips to the restroom in the middle of the night. In addition to this, it causes a slight increase in blood pressure, which places an additional strain on your heart at a time when your body is attempting to rest and heal itself. The digestive process is also affected. Cheeses that are old and fatty take a long time to decompose. As a result of your body having to work harder than usual to metabolize them, your core temperature will rise, and the energy that should be going into repairing cells and maintaining hormone balance will be diverted. This frequently results in legs that are unable to relax, strange nightmares, and the kind of shallow sleep that causes you to feel foggy when you get up in the morning. You might want to consider reserving these foods for lunch or the early afternoon if you truly enjoy them. Your dinner should be something that is easy on the digestive system. Vegetables that have been steamed, a handful of rice, and sometimes some fish or lentils. When you compare the sensations of your nights, you will be surprised. Changes that are quite minor can have a significant impact, particularly around the age of 65, when every organ in the body becomes more sensitive to the decisions that we make. What appears to be a minor step could actually be a significant stride toward a more profound and secure rest. Chocolate and other secret sources of caffeine come in at number 4. To others, chocolate may appear to be harmless, even comforting. Although eating a tiny piece of dark chocolate after supper can feel like a modest celebration of the day, many people are unaware of the amount of caffeine and theobromine that is included in this type of chocolate. The neurological system is stimulated by both of these substances, which also cause an increase in heart rate and interfere with the generation of melatonin, which is the hormone that assists in falling asleep and staying asleep. This may be something that younger persons may brush off, but as people become older, their brains become significantly more susceptible to stimulants. Even a small amount of chocolate consumed in the evening can delay the onset of sleep by more than an hour for a person between the ages of 65 and 85. And it can reduce the amount of time spent in deep sleep by as much as 20%. There is also a trap that is concealed here. It's not uncommon for chocolate to be merely the tip of the iceberg. Some elderly people use caffeine from other sources late in the day without being aware of it. Unaware that they are doing so, there is still a trace amount of caffeine in decaffeinated coffee, which is sufficient to disrupt sleep in people who are sensitive to caffeine. Caffeine can also be found in the formulations of some pain drugs and weight reduction supplements. Even drinks that are marketed as calming, such as green tea or white tea, may contain caffeine unless they are specifically labeled as being caffeine-free. Before going to bed, a woman named Ruth, who was 82 years old at the time, would consume a cup of green tea along with a square of dark chocolate. She believed that she was maintaining her health, but as time went on, she began to experience more vivid nightmares, awakenings during the night, and tiredness in the early morning hours. Almost immediately after she eliminated those items from her evening regimen, she noticed an improvement in the quality of her sleep. It is not necessary to give up every delicious delicacy that you adore. Timing is everything here. Coffee and tea are not bad beverages, and chocolate is not a bad food. However, in order to accommodate a body that is more susceptible to stimulation, the window of opportunity for these pleasures should be moved earlier in the day. Instead, you should try to include them into your routine throughout the morning or lunchtime. And you should always read the labels of your medications. When you come across terms like caffeine, guarana, or green tea extract, you should exercise caution. With increasing age, the boundary between helping and hurting becomes increasingly blurry. It is important to be aware of what you drink after 5 o'clock. Could be the deciding factor in whether or not you have a restful night or a night that is restorative. I would appreciate it if you could use the 4th comment section below to let me know that you are continuing viewing this video and that you are finding these insights to be helpful. I strongly suggest that you subscribe to the channel and activate the bell if you have not already done so. This will ensure that you do not miss any videos. With your assistance, we are able to continue producing high-quality content that will both inform and inspire you. Now, let's proceed with our plans. At number 5, drinking behaviors before bedtime and alcohol consumption. Before going to bed, many elderly people find that drinking a modest glass of wine or a swig of whiskey is a routine that brings them peace. The body is warmed by it. It is calming to the mind. Of course, it can make it easier for you to fall asleep. The majority of individuals, however, are unaware of this fact. The second half of your sleep cycle is disrupted when you consume alcohol. While it swiftly puts you to sleep, it stops your body from entering the deep, restorative stages of sleep, which are essential for the healing process, memory, and the strength of your immune system. There is a significant distinction between what appears to be rest and what is actually sedation. Studies have shown that drinking alcohol decreases rapid eye movement sleep, also known as REM sleep, which is essential for the consolidation of memories and the processing of emotions. As we become older, our natural rapid eye movement, REM, sleep begins to decrease. Including alcohol in the equation means that you are putting away something that you simply cannot afford to lose. This is the reason why a significant number of elderly people who drink in the evening frequently wake up at 2 or 3 in the morning and find it extremely difficult to get back to sleep after being awake. In an effort to digest the alcohol, their body temperature rises, their heart rate quickens, and their liver goes into high gear trying to process the alcohol. It is comparable to turning on a motor in the middle of the night, when the body ought to be in a motionless and calm state. Another problem is the lack of equilibrium. Alcohol decreases coordination and reaction speed, even in little amounts. For someone in their 70s or 80s, this can be harmful. There are a number of situations that can be considered high risk, including getting up in the middle of the night to use the restroom, navigating a dark hallway, or even standing too rapidly. Falling is the most common cause of fatal injuries among people who are over the age of 65. A single unpleasant evening or a single mistake might have a profound impact on one's life. And it's not just about alcoholic beverages as well. Some elders use alcohol in dishes, cooking sauces, sweets, or herbal tonics, without recognizing how much of it remains active after heating. Take Marvin, 76, who used to enjoy a hot toddy every night before bed. It helped him fall asleep faster, but he couldn't understand why he was waking up feeling foggy, irritated, and weak. Following the recommendation of his physicians that he abstain from it for a week. The change was remarkable. Even while he misses the warmth of it, he does not like the foggy mornings or the increased risk of losing his footing while he is going to the bathroom at midnight. You don't have to give up every luxury, but if you're over the age of 65 and you've been having trouble sleeping or staying stable, avoiding alcohol after sunset might be the silent miracle your body has been waiting for. It is a straightforward modification that can have significant repercussions, and it has the potential to mark the beginning of a more lucid and energizing version of yourself. Lastly, some thoughts. The decisions we make become more influential than the words we utter as we get older. A light snack here and a drink before bedtime there may appear to be harmless and even comfortable. But when your body is more weak and vulnerable, these seemingly insignificant rituals can quietly chip away at your health night after night with little to no noticeable impact. There is more to the things you select to eat before going to bed than just hunger or flavor. They are concerned in how well you rest, how safely you walk around, and how long you are able to do things on your own. It is not out of fear that you should avoid these 5 popular foods consumed at night. The issue is one of awareness. You should strive to give yourself every advantage in order to maintain your strength, alertness, and equilibrium. It is your right to live a life in which you have fewer falls, fewer visits to the hospital, and more mornings filled with vigor rather than grogginess. In addition, none of these modifications call for the utilization of pricey apparatus or sophisticated routines. All that they are requesting is your attention, A minor adjustment to the routines you follow in the evening could result in you waking up more on your feet, with more clarity in your thinking, and with a greater sense of command over your day. You have already accomplished the first stage if you have persisted in watching this far. What this indicates is that you are concerned not only with your own survival but also with the quality of your years. There is a significant message conveyed by that about you. You are not going to give up. This is an adaptation. You continue to acquire new knowledge and develop. Because of this, you are more resilient than the majority of people who are half your age at this point in your life. We appreciate you being here with us today. It would be wonderful if you could get in touch with us in the comment section below. Please share one thing that you have learned today and how you intend to put it to use in your life. Happy learning. We place a high value on your opinions, so please do not be reluctant to share them with us. Our inspiration and encouragement are greatly increased as a result of reading your remarks. I would appreciate it if you would like, subscribe, and share this video if you found it to be informative and enjoyable. With your assistance, we are able to continue producing high-quality content that will both inform and inspire you. We appreciate you taking the time to watch, and we hope to see you in the future video.